Welcome to Warhammer 40k lore in the Bible, where I pull from Warhammer 40k lore to help explain biblical lore. And today, I'm going to be reacting to some Talvad TikToks, or the greater good. And that's up to Tal. But anyways, every Monday, I do a lore series. Every Tuesday is a short version of that, which is more of a narrative experience, while Monday's video is more of a lore study and a Bible study all in one. And then, of course, I do these React videos as well. And it could be TikToks, or sometimes I do YouTube videos as well. But it's neither here nor there. But I want to start out with this, and then we'll get to the video. Those little green guys from outer space, we'll just say, for YouTube's sake, they're in the Bible. And let me show you. So Revelation 16:13. And I saw 3 unclean spirits, like frogs, come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth into the kings of the earth. Replace that with the governments of the earth, right? And the whole world, to gather them to battle of the great day of God Almighty. Well, what are they doing? Giving technology. That's what we hear from, those people out there that think differently than us. Can't even say that on YouTube anymore. But, you guys get what I'm saying. But anyways, I digress. Let me get into this.
The Tao philosophy of the greater good has one simple message, and that is that every single action a person takes should seek to do the most good for the most amount of people. This is in pretty stark contrast to what humanity believes. Burn the heretic, kill the mutant, purge the unclean, and suffer not the alien. Selfish actions that further the goals of the individual and harm or disregard the group completely go against the Tao's teachings. So the Imperium of Man's idea that the galaxy belongs only to them is in direct opposition to the greater good. The practice of the greater good means that the Tao are one of the only species in the galaxy that actively pursues diplomatic relations.
Yeah, but if you don't want to follow that, usually that leads to, right, like communism or anything like that. If you think differently other than the hive mind, that's actually, you know what? I'll get into that real quick. We're going to see that the kingdom of darkness is a hive mind, or at least has a hive mind mentality. This is where, in my opinion, collectivism and all that stuff comes from. So Mark 5:9, and he asked him, "What is thy name?" This is Jesus talking to these demons and trying to exorcise them, right? So Mark 5:9, and he asked him, "What is thy name?" And he answered, saying, "My name is Legion, for we are many." Right? And then there's another one we'll get into another. But anyways, I digress.
You can do more good through peace than through war. This philosophy is really appealing to a lot of species. The Tao have actually folded a lot of other alien species into their collective, namely the Kroot, the Vespid, and even a lot of humans have left the Imperium to follow the greater good. And it actually wasn't always like this, as early Tao history was marked with a lot of tribal warfare. It was their introduction to a species known as the Ethereals, who introduced the greater good to the Tao, united the tribes, and taught them to spread the greater good to the rest of the...
And that type of theology usually comes from the rich elite, right? It's for the state, is the modern term for that, is, right? It's implicit. They use that moniker, right, for the state, for the greater good is basically, the what's for everyone. But in reality, it's for what the state wants. But anyways. And then, of course, the reason why they want it that way is because it gives them more control. Anyways, I digress.
Galaxy.
And I forgot to say Wes Hammer's name and what video is called. So I'll put that up at the beginning again. So I apologize for that, Wes Hammer. Anyways, that last bit, that's my opinion, I should say. And I'm not a political expert or anything like that. But that's just my 2 cents on that. But anyways, let's get into this. Then we're going to be talking about the Stoichion, which are the elemental spirits, kind of like the ethereals, right? And they're the principalities of this world for the time being. And that's what Ephesians 12 talks about, right? These principalities, powers, and stuff that are in high places. Okay, so howbeit then, this is Galatians 8 or 4:8. Howbeit then, when ye knew not God, ye did service unto them which by nature are no gods. But now, after ye have known of God, or rather known of God, how turn ye again to the weak and beggarly elements? This is the word stoichion here. Whereunto ye desire again ye in bondage. Which is interesting because, the Tau do have, the water cast, fire cast, and, and stuff like that. So, anyways, but it is interesting that he talks about him in this stoichion way, this, ethereal, of the elements thing, earth, water, wind, stuff like that.
This is what the greater good truly is. Human children were playing amongst the stall of a Tau merchant. The Puritan human parents chided their children, and the Tau merchant arranged chairs for them. He spoke fluent Gothic, steaming delicacies in his stall, pausing occasionally to speak with a linguist's precision. The Gwelag glanced at each other, teeth bright in their verging smiles, as thrilled to be addressed in their tongue as the merchant was to speak it. The merchant...
That word is totally lost its purity, man. Anyways, thank you, high school.
Boomed out a plate of warmed Colette, then squeezed juice from a leather-skinned citrus onto the plate. Whatever rogue supremacist movements flourished in the shadows, this Tau at least was thrilled to meet the humans, to share his vision of the greater good, to demonstrate his love for his new neighbors in what small ways he could. You are mistaken to think I cannot see, Swordlight said. I know what the Tauva looks like. It is here, a world where people live, a life worth living, a society where those lives are not taken for granted. In the rotting Imperium, humanity fights for its worth. Here, their place awaits them. We need not save the humans. They are the ones who save us, who remind us our dream is not in vain. Or scuffed his hoof along a damp rockcrete slab. He swept his...
Yeah, that's exactly what those frog-like beings are saying. Exactly that stuff. If you believe what the people who have experienced that are saying. But yeah. Those would be the unclean spirits that look like frogs, right? That I'm talking about. We'll just say that. Anyways.
Hand out into the willing surrender. You outspoke me. You could have outspoken the waves.
Now we're going to be reacting to Lost Hope Miniatures, The Greater Good. Alright. And I want to talk about why we see all these weird, satyrs in the Bible and, 3 unclean spirits like frogs. Stuff like that, right? So, of course, this is going to bring up the Genesis 6 scenario, which angels came down, made with women, created giants. It brings that up, but it goes a little bit further here. And Book of Enoch. Yeah, we'll get into this first. So, Jubilees, chapter 5. And it came to pass when the children of men began to multiply in the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the angels of God saw them on a certain year of this Jubilee. They were beautiful to look upon, and they took themselves wives of all whom they chose, and they bare unto them sons, and they were giants. And lawlessness increased on the earth, and all flesh corrupted its way, alike men, alike cattle, and beasts and birds, and everything that walks on the earth. All of them corrupted their ways and their orders, and they began to devour each other. And lawlessness increased on the earth, and every imagination of the thoughts of all men, thus evil continually. The Book of Enoch talks about how they sinned with the reptiles, the beasts, the birds, and all that. So, anyways, and we see men were corrupted there, so they were these humanoids, whatevers, chimera and stuff like that. But I digress. Let's get this going.
Is the Tau Empire, the youngest race in the galaxy and the closest thing 40k has to Optimus. They are proud owners of every battlesuit you've ever wanted to paint.
I guess so.
Only a few thousand years old, the Tau followed the greater good, a philosophy that says every caste serves the whole. Firecast.
I don't understand how they get the Gundam where they say they look like. I guess they somewhat do, but not really. But anyways.
Fight, Earthcast builds, Watercast negotiates, Aircast pilots, Ethereal tell everyone what to do. They're expanding across a small but growing empire, absorbing other species into the cause through diplomacy, propaganda, and when those fail, by plasma. By 40k standards, they are the good guys. By any other standards,
that's pretty much what I was saying earlier, It always turns out if you don't agree, you get, right? And no religion or anything should be like that, right? You shouldn't just go because they're not Christian or whatever and end them because of that, right? It's not right. I don't care what religion says that or whatever. And the Bible doesn't say that. There may be institutions out there that might think that, but that's not what the Bible says. Anyways, I digress.
They are the one-party state with mechs. On the tabletop, Tau are dedicated shooting armies with crisis suits, riptides, drones, missile pods, and if they shoot it, they probably got one. But melee is definitely not on the menu for these guys. So, if you want anime mechs with a side of cult diplomacy, Tau are for you.
Now we're going to be reacting to Brisk Tabletop, the only good guys in Warhammer 40k, which of course, alerting to the Tau. But I'm going to expand on what the verses I brought up last bit. So this is Jasher chapter 4, verse 18. And this goes even further. So, and their judges and rulers went to the daughters of men and took their wives by force from their husbands, according to their choice. And the sons of men in those days took from the cattle of the earth, the beasts of the field, and the fowls of the air, and they taught the mixture of animals of one species with the other, in order wherewith to provoke the Lord. And God saw that the whole earth, that it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted its ways upon the earth, all men and all animals. So that's why God had the flood, by the way. But anyways, so that's where all that stuff comes from, man. And we know in the book of Enoch, it says they became the demons because their spirit, they were born from earth, right? They weren't made in heaven. God doesn't have a prescribed spirit for them. And because God said you're going to mate with a horse, or a horse is going to mate with a horse, right? And humans are going to mate with humans, right? Oh my goodness. I'm going to get roasted for that one. But anyways, you get the gist. But they became the demons.
In the grim darkness of the far future, there exists a race known as the Tau. A relatively young species, they emerge from their homeworld, To, with a vision of unity, driven by what they call the greater good. Imagine a...
I could see them listening to music like this. I used to love this stuff, man. I still do, actually. I like beats like this. I don't like the stuff with sound, or not sound, but vocals, I should say. My goodness, can't even speak today. But I like the electronic music like that, and the more ambient style, I guess, per se. But anyways, I digress. I'm sure you guys
society where each citizen is a cog in a grand machine working towards a harmonious future. The Tau's technology, advanced beyond their years, is a testament to their collective aspiration. Yet this unity is not with...
If you subscribe to the greater good, that's what I want to say, my goodness.
Without its shadows, stories whisper of those who dissent, swiftly silenced for the greater good. Ethereal caste leaders guide with an iron grip, their true motives shrouded in mystery. From the fire caste warriors to the earth caste engineers, each Tau plays their part. They are a formidable force, their strength in unity propelling them across the stars. Remember, in the universe of Warhammer 40k, there is no peace, only war. Yep. And the Tau, with their greater good, are a beacon of unity in a galaxy torn asunder.
It sounds good, right? But are the ethereals behind it? Do they have good intentions, right? That's what it usually ends up, man. Like when you get humans or any kind of corporeal being. My goodness, I can't talk today for some reason. Ugh. But anyways, so this is also by Wes Hammer. This is just more to lighten the load since we've been talking about some weird topics. Here's some humor at the end here.
If a character's first step towards redemption is them dying for the greater good.
Did somebody say dying for the greater good?
Well, I hope that isn't copywritten. Probably is. Oh. We're going to wind it down here, guys. I just want to thank everybody who liked the video. If you disliked the video, thank you for at least giving me a chance. And guys, I just want to thank everyone who comments on the videos, and you guys help push the videos and all that. So I want to thank you guys. But anyways, have a wonderful day.